So, hey everyone, thanks for coming in today to learn about the PhenX Toolkit. My name is Elizabeth Fallon. I'm the communications lead for the project, as well as a developer for the PhenX Toolkit website. I'm joined on the line today by members of our team, including Wayne Huggins and Tabitha Hendershot, who are PhenX co-investigators. I'm curious about everyone's background who's joining the call today. I'd love to know more about who we have with us on the line. So when you have a second, please share your city and your field and background in the chat. I noticed people are still coming in. So hello, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Fallon. Welcome to the Zoom meeting. This is tools to help you use PhenX protocols. Joined by Wayne Huggins and Tabitha Hendershot on the line today. And I just wanted to ask if you could, when you have a chance, please in the chat, enter your city and your field and background. Whether you're from clinical practice, public health, research, or any other area, please take a minute to introduce yourself. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I'm in a public health field here at RTI, and my background is in data science and basic science administration. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. Okay. Before we start, I'd like to go over just a couple housekeeping items. Please know that this meeting is part of a recorded series, which will be available through our website and hosted on YouTube. I'll provide a QR code at the end of the meeting where you can find this and other recordings. Questions are encouraged. Please mute your microphone if you're not speaking, though. Speaking of questions, we ask that you either raise your hand in Zoom or enter your question in the chat if you have one. Okay. My goals for today are to discuss some of the features of the toolkit and how they can support data management and data sharing. My hope is that after this workshop, you'll have a good understanding of the toolkit and the tools it provides to help support your research. And I hope you'll be able to join us for our upcoming workshops, delve a bit deeper into the available tools and features. Our next workshop is February 20th. Feel more than welcome to sign up and follow that link to our workshop page on the website, which I believe Wayne just popped into the chat. Thank you, Wayne. Okay, so first off, PhenX stands for Consensus Measures for Phenotypes and Exposures. Originally envisioned to support genome-wide association studies, the scope has expanded to include epidemiological, clinical, and translational study design. The goal of PhenX is to provide the scientific community with a common framework for collecting data for human participants. The steering committee provides overall guidance, helping us consider how to best meet the needs of the project. And working groups are assembled to add new protocols to the toolkit. We assemble groups of 6 to 8 people in the field from government and academia, seeking diversity of experience and background. Starting with a scope defined by the steering committee, we use a consensus process during which working group members recommend appropriate data collection protocols using the criteria established by the PhenX steering committee, which I'll go into a bit more detail shortly. With input during outreach from the scientific community, the working group makes final recommendations for protocols to add to the toolkit. To update content, we form smaller groups called content expert panels, CEPs, that review specific domains or collections. They look at each protocol to determine if it's still useful and relevant, recommending to update, replace, or retire protocols as needed. This helps ensure that the toolkit remains scientifically relevant for the research community. We have liaisons from the NIH institutes and centers. We learn from them what's going on at NIH, and they learn from us what's going on in PhenX to ensure we're serving the needs of research communities. Yeah, PhenX has been funded by the National Human Genome Research Institute since 2007. Our project scientist is Jyoti Dial. Over the years, we've had co-funding and supplements from other NIH ICs, many of which have supported development of groups of protocols to support the research community. With the evolution of PhenX from GWAS to clinical, translational, and epidemiological research, so too has the funding evolved. This list of current prior funding from NIH institutes and programs. Multiple NIH institutes have supported the development of focused collections of protocols, which add depth to the PhenX toolkit. Why use standard measurement protocols? Using the same method across studies makes it easier to combine data downstream. Standard measure protocols allow for easy comparison of study data, which is particularly important when study findings require validation. Using the same protocols makes it easy to combine study data, where increased sample size provides greater statistical power and cross-study analyses, increase the impact of individual studies. And it doesn't hurt to avoid the need to harmonize data, since data collected the same way is instantly comparable. Not to mention, PhenX has been recommended in over 700 FOAs from the NIH. And by using the PhenX toolkit, researchers can be responsive to funding opportunity announcements that mention use of PhenX protocols. What PhenX is and what PhenX isn't. PhenX includes existing data collection standards that are already in use. PhenX is not a set of new methods or questionnaires. We are not developing new questions or ways to collect data. The PhenX toolkit provides details for collecting the data measurement protocols and tools for study design, implementation, and compatibility with other resources. As I was saying, we don't develop new ways of asking questions. We rely on what is already in the field. This is the criteria that our working groups and content expert panels use to identify protocols for the toolkit. Use of this criteria means that you may not find your favorite protocol in the toolkit. Protocols must be clearly defined and already well established. Typically, they're used in major reference study or consortium. As such, they must be broadly validated, which allows them to be used with reliability and reproducible results. Being low burden to both study participants and investigators is also important. When possible, we look for protocols that can be used across different groups of people, and we have a preference for open access and non-proprietary protocols. Prior use in omics research may be a consideration for some research areas as well. Okay, I'd like to go over the overarching structure of PhenX and a couple definitions. At the top level, we see domains are a field of research or topic with a unifying theme, where the theme may be a research area, disease, or condition. Domains add breadth to the toolkit. They sort of broadly cover a research area. Examples include demographics, anthropometrics, and environmental exposures. Collections, on the other hand, go more deeply into a particular research area. Protocols in collections have a shared characteristic, target population, or topic, and may cut across research domains. Examples of collections include social determinants of health and mental health research, which also includes suicide and eating disorders, among other topics. A measure is a certain characteristic of or related to a study subject. Measures can have multiple protocols. Protocols here refer to the way that data is collected. You can think of a measure as an upper level characteristic of a study subject, while the protocol is a specific way that data is collected, such as with questions on a form like a survey or a case report form, or an assessment like blood pressure or standing height. During the demo, we'll talk about what elements of the toolkit can help you determine if a protocol is suitable for your study. Before we dive in, I want to discuss 3 specific tools available for each protocol. They are a citation builder, Save My Toolkit, and Share My Toolkit. Before we dive into the citation builder tool, I want to show you first how to cite the PhenX toolkit. The first citation we see here is referencing the concept of the toolkit. However, it's important to cite use of PhenX protocols because it allows us to see what studies are using PhenX and also allows us to include them in the publication tab on the protocol page on the website. More on that soon. The Cite My Toolkit feature allows you to generate citations for each protocol you use. So you can easily cite multiple PhenX toolkit protocols in your publications while ensuring proper APA attribution, ultimately enhancing the credibility of your research. We see in the photo that you can simply select the protocols from your toolkit that you want to cite, and the toolkit generates a citation for each protocol in your toolkit. Next, we have the Save My Toolkit feature, which allows researchers and clinicians to customize protocols to fit their specific research needs, ensuring they have the most relevant tools at their disposal, easily manage and organize protocols for quick and efficient access, streamlining their workflow, and share their saved toolkits with colleagues, promoting collaboration and consistency across research projects. This feature empowers researchers to customize their toolkits, making their work more efficient and collaborative. Finally, the Share My Toolkit feature was made to help investigators and other researchers share protocols in the PhenX toolkit. This feature enables registered users to share self-curated toolkits by email. The feature simplifies the collaboration process by allowing you to share specific protocols directly from the toolkit. For instance, if you're compiling protocols to My Toolkit for a new data collection form, you can easily share your whole toolkit with your study coordinator. The email can be personalized. However, the recipient must have a PhenX Toolkit user account to view the shared toolkit. The recipient will receive instructions on how to do this, however, and they can create an account if they do not already have one. All right, so next we're going to head over to the live demo. I just wanted to take a pause really quickly and take any questions. Wayne, did we need to answer any questions from the chat?
I don't see any questions in the chat currently, but yeah, if you guys have questions, please feel free to enter them in or speak up or raise your hand.
Okay, if there are no questions, I'll continue on with the presentation. So here we see the PhenX homepage. We have some of our core collections at the bottom, and I wanted to show you two ways that you can submit feedback to the toolkit. First is down here in the bottom ribbon, we've got a contact us form. Okay, next, if this would scroll through, we also collect feedback from community members on our collections. Okay. Now I'd like to go in and show you a protocol. So let's search. We'll use discrimination as an example. So this is a protocol landing page. Over on the left, we can see that this protocol has 3 essential protocols. These protocols would be necessary to interpret results of this protocol discrimination. We also have a description of the protocol, as well as specific instructions on how to administer the protocol, and these are recommendations from the working group. We see that this protocol is freely available and permission is not required for its use. And we'll come back to that later on as we see this links out to another section. And finally, we have the protocol itself. Okay, now we can see the protocols available on the website. I wanted to also show you it's available for download in multiple formats, including data collection worksheets as a Word document, as well as data dictionaries in CSV. Okay, so going over to the administration tab. This tab shows us what special training or equipment are needed to administer the protocol. We can see from this one that there is no special equipment. However, the working group does recommend that an interviewer may need computer assistance to administer the protocol. We can also see that the mode of administration is an interview-administered questionnaire, and that the life stage is adult, meant for participants 25 to 65 years of age. Now, this is helpful to know because in the specific instructions, the working group acknowledges that this is recommended for this age group and says that the discrimination scale may also be used with adolescents and adults of all ages. Okay, coming over to the details page. We have the selection rationale, which is from the working group. This is their rationale for recommending this protocol. We can see that this is offered in other languages available at the source. We can also see that there's a link out to CADSR. More on this in our 4th workshop later. Okay, we can see that this protocol was reviewed by expert panel review number 2 fairly recently. And it includes an updated protocol and a revised data dictionary. Now we're coming to the source tab. So I wanted to show you, looking back at the main protocol page, if we click into availability, this brings us directly to the source tab. You can see the protocol name from source, as well as the 2 references and 2 general references. Okay, variables. This protocol does have some variables mapped to dbGaP. And again, more on this in our future workshops. And then here is the measure. This is showing you what is being assessed by this protocol. You can see the protocol ID, this is mostly for PhenX internal use, is 210302. And publications. We can see that there are multiple publications that reference this protocol in the toolkit. I think this is a great segue to go into the Cite This Protocol tool, in fact. So what we're going to do is add the protocol to my toolkit. Okay, and then I'd like to come in and just check out my toolkit. We see I also have protocols from the Social Determinants of Health core in this toolkit. And I'd like to just go ahead and cite everything here. And wow, look at that. There are all of my APA citations, quick and easy. Okay, so next I've assembled this toolkit. I think I'd like to share it, but we don't see the share button. That must mean that I'm not logged in. So let's go ahead and log into my account. Okay, we'll go back to my toolkit. Now we see the Save My Toolkit button and also Share My Toolkit. Let's go ahead and save first. Okay. So we've saved the toolkit, and then we can see the title. And then we'll just go ahead and share it. So you can enter a customized email note, and you would enter the email you'd like to share to here and hit save and share. Okay. Now I think that's bringing us to the end of our demo. Wayne and Tabitha, did you have anything to add to the demo?
I think you covered what you plan to.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Just coming back to our slides, I'd like to acknowledge the NIH leadership for this project, including Jyoti Dayal at NHGRI and the NIH leads for PhenX supplemental funding, as well as our steering committee and the hundreds of experts who have worked with us over the years. I also want to acknowledge the large team from RTI that brings a wide range of expertise to support PhenX. Thank you so much for joining our call today.